Hi, Patrick here. Have Cheetah will view. And well, the good news is that the last review I did, it worked. It came out well. And thank you for that. I was not sure if it would work. It did, and it came out. And I guess I'm very happy about that because that it will enable me to do more reviews more often via this way. Because most of the time I record on my phone and then I upload it on there and it takes forever. But now this is really, really fast. Okay, so what are we doing here today? Well, I mentioned in the last review I did for the end of the first Wedding Veil trilogy. I said I would review another Christmas movie, and I am. And I will be talking about Signed, Sealed, Delivered for Christmas. So, yeah, I know, right? I'm furthering cementing my move as a non-horror channel. But you know what? I'm just feel this is what I feel like reviewing. This is the one I want to talk about. So here we go. So Signed, Sealed, and Delivered. It's a tremendously warm and it's a great series. I stumbled across it when a Christian bookstore was being closed, and they're selling all their movies. And I bought um, or I should say my friend Cheryl, she bought the season blind, bought it blind. And I saw that and I said, well, I need to do that too, because I like Hallmark. So I bought the season blind, signed, sealed, delivered. I knew it had been created by Martha Williamson, who had done Touched by an Angel. So with that pedigree, I said, yeah, let's do this. So, and Hallmark aired this series for 1 year, 10 episodes, 1 year, um, and it's about four people. Oliver O'Toole, played by Eric Mabius. Um, we had Shane McInerney, played by Kristen Booth. Rita Hayworth with an I, played by the lovely Crystal Lowe. And we also had Norman Dorman, who's played by Jeff Gustafson. Now, they're in Denver, and they run the dead letter office. So any mail that can't be delivered goes to them, and then they in turn find a way to get it delivered. And the series only ran for 10 episodes, and I'll probably end up breaking those episodes down later on. But what's really weird about it is that it's almost like Hallmark decided to put this series, and at the last minute they decided not to. So it only ran 1 year, one season of 10 episodes. But the show was very popular, very popular. So what they did was they decided to make a series of movies based on these characters, and that's what they did. About twice a year, they would release a new movie per year, a 2-hour movie. And I think they've done 19. We're waiting to see if they do 20. And so they did them, and they released them two per year. Now I enjoy all the movies, I really do. I enjoyed them all, but the one I want to talk about most is probably the very best. In fact, I dare say this is probably the best movie in the whole series, whether the TV series and the movies. This is the one that I really enjoyed the most. So, Signed, Sealed, Delivered for Christmas came out in 2014, and it starred the four actors above, as well as they have some special guests. They had Rob Estes, who played Jordan Marley. Marion Ross played Marion, Oliver's former Sunday school teacher, and and it basically tells a story about about the dead letter office and the post office delivering letters to everyone who wrote to Santa. And Jordan is the one that's leading the charge. He's new to the post office, at least at what Oliver, Shane, Norman, and Rita can see. But they managed to get every letter out there, uh, just about. And so they're going to go celebrate, and then then they're told Jordan takes Oliver aside and says, "There's one letter yet to be delivered, and I need you to handle this." And I says, "Well, is it to Santa?" And of course, the letter is actually to God. So, of course, it's a man for Oliver, a man of faith. Uh, he takes it seriously, so he takes the letter and he tries to get more information from Jordan about, like, I don't know, it's an old letter. It's an old letter. As the people are trying to, then they find out that there's another letter saying how, um, there's a young lady who needs Santa's help or God's help because her mom is really, really sick and in desperate straits. And so they decide to tackle this one last letter together. Uh, Shane, uh, um, Shane, Rita, and Norman and Oliver decided to tackle that one together. Uh, Oliver's going to tackle the one that Jordan gave him on his own. So there's two letters in play, one with the team, one without. And so they proceed to find the letter that has been written by a young girl whose mom and dad had been rushed to Denver from Wyoming. The mother is very pregnant, but she's critically ill, and she might not make it, and she might not even be able to keep the baby. So it's really, really sick. And but one of the things they wanted to do was they wanted to, because they had just moved there from Texas to Wyoming. They'd only been there a month. So, and the little girl Hannah, she wanted to be in a pageant. She wanted to do a Christmas pageant. So, so everybody rallies around to make that happen after meeting the family. And the father tells her, says, it's really important to her that if we can do this, you know. So everybody rallies around and they put together this Christmas pageant. Um, but we find out that while the three of them are very much believers, we find that Shane's faith has been really shaken, really bad. From she's had childhood trauma. Her dad left her, and it's really left a big scar on her. And some of these plot lines are covered in other movies. I mean, so if you come into this as a standalone, you might be a little confused by some of the dialogue, um, and it is explained during the other movies. But she did not have a really good, a very happy upbringing. She's still a great person, but she's still scarred by it, and we see it here too. So, but she's going to do her best by Hannah to help make this the Christmas, to work. Um, Oliver too is looking for help too because he's shaken as well. Because he's trying to figure out how to, he figures out that the letter that he's gotten was Shane letter. It's Shane's. Shane wrote it 20 years ago, and he's figured this out that it's actually Shane. That he's got to deliver this letter to Shane, and it's very frightening. I can understand that. Here's this guy who walks up to you and says, "I need your help in delivering this letter to your coworker, answering this letter to your coworker from 20 years ago." And Oliver does his best, and he tries to, he's figuring out a way to talk to Shane about it, and he can never get the time enough to do it. He stops the purse snatching. That leads him to reconnecting with his former Sunday school teacher, played by Marion Ross. And of course that helps gather up the rest of the troops to put the Christmas play in order. Um, they bring in an old stuffed bear as a wise man. Um, it's very cute. Oliver's going to narrate the play. Shane's going to go as the angel. Norman and Rita are going to be Joseph and Mary. So it's very a service dog is the sheep. It's a pit bull. A service dog is a sheep, and he's hilarious. Um, So, what's really cool about this, like Shane's or Oliver's inside he's inside the chapel, and Jordan, who's been coming in and out throughout the movie, has finally come up to him and he says, you know, you're gonna know what to do. And and Oliver had told the story about when he grew up that there was also a crisis of faith in his family, and his grandfather had died, and he ran to a shore of the lake when he was just 8 years old, and he noticed that there was a tree on a rock by a lake. Somehow it had managed to latch on, and so um, he noticed that someone was decorating it for Christmas. So we see a young Oliver helping this gentleman out, decorating the tree for Christmas, helping him restore his faith. Um, Grown up Oliver is sitting in the chapel. He's reflecting, and Jordan starts talking to him, and he tells Oliver things that only Oliver would know. And we know that Jordan is not he's not a postal worker. And Oliver says, "You're not from the postal service, are you?" And he goes, "Never said I was." And we find out that Jordan is, well, you'll have to see it for yourself. If you're a fan of Touched by an Angel, you'll pretty much guess who Jordan is. Um, this movie is just wonderful. It does help you restore your faith and gives you hope. And of course, this being Hallmark and Martha Williamson, we do get our ending. But the journey always is the journey, and the acting and everything else in this movie. Um, it's a great movie. It's a great series. I've commented on it before. When we talked to Crystal about her, when she interviewed with us on Eight Questions with, I told her that was one of the funniest things I've ever saw is when I saw her coming in and they had dressed her as being really dowdy, all these clothes and glasses and everything else. And it's just like, it just doesn't work because, like they show it off here as Rita's character she gets dressed up for a Christmas party, and it's Crystal Lowe. I mean, just stunning, right? It's just like, okay, it's just, it's like that's the only part. It never fails to tickle me how they try to do that. Um, the rest of the cast, of course, the core four, um, Kristen Booth and Jeff Gustafson and Eric Mavis, all terrific, all terrific. Rob Estes is the one of note in this movie. Rob Estes has played a lot of cops, a lot of tough guys and whatnot. I have never seen him play a role like this, and he was absolutely sensational. Sensational. Um, it's amazing how Hallmark can cast a lot of older veteran actors like this. Not to say Rob's old, but I'm saying he's different. You don't see him in roles like this, and also too you don't see him in a lot of new projects either. Though this movie was done in 2014, this is a 2014 release. Um, but he'd done Silk Stockings, and that's probably where he's best well known from, which was the police procedure that ran on USA for many, many years. So he played a tough cop. But to see him play Jordan Marley was a revelation, so to speak. And I, and this is the only one of the entire series that alludes to a supernatural event. Like this is when I saw this, I'm going, wow, will we see this in the future? Will we see something like this in the future? Like Touched by an Angel. No, no, nothing. It's never manifested itself like that again, other than this one movie, and that's all right. That's all right because you couldn't do it every single movie because then you would get a Touched by an Angel type of scenario, and I don't think that's what Martha Williamson wanted. So, as far as Christmas movies go, again, this is the one that you want to watch every year. One that you would pass on to your family and friends. Um, the direction is great. Kevin Fair, who's directed the whole series, did a really nice job here. He mixed some humor. He mixed some real heartfelt emotion. He got great performances from everybody in the cast. Um, Kristen Booth, Kristen Booth, Crystal, Norman, and Eric are all terrific as well. Good to see Marion Ross is in here as well. So yeah, all in all, I would recommend this uh, as well as any all of the Sign Seal Deliver series. You can get this pretty much on all the secondary markets, eBay or Amazon or what have you. Um, there is a Canadian company called VisaVision. I think is what it's called. Would not recommend buying that from them. The quality is not very good. Uh, I would try to buy these from Cinedigm or from secondary markets. All right, so that's all I got uh, for Christmas. So I guess I will let you guys go. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then drop a comment down below. I really appreciate it. And yeah, this is awesome. So you can go 16 minutes with here and not worry about it. And I felt like I took my time. Um, all right, so yeah, we'll be back soon. I don't know what we're going to be reviewing next. I just know that we will. Uh, we'll probably go back to some more drama, more action, more stuff that you like. But me, I just had to get this out, so I did. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.